If you're a marketing agency owner, coach, consultant, anyone who runs an online service business who wants to scale up, use paid advertising, have great content that crushes, hit 100, 200, 300, 400, $500,000 months, and build a team to be able to help you do that, you're in the right place right now. Now, before we get into the 7 truths about hiring your first sales team, let me tell you why people actually come to us in the first place, right? It's not because their setter sucks. It's not because they have a closer that can't close. It's not because their pipeline is slow. Most of the founders that we work with come to us because they're hiring a sales team, or they're running paid advertising, or they're operationally trying to get to a point where they can bring those people in, or bring in a account management team and scale things up, right? Get a great cost per acquisition, have a world-class LTV, and have something that they're proud to deliver on every single day from an office perspective, and make sure that their team have a great time working with them at the same time too. But so many of the fucking issues are predicated, or, determined as to the success of these things. When you try to bring these things on, every crack you have in the business will be exposed. Every crack as you as a leader will be exposed. And you don't want to have to face that alone, right? Most agency owners think that running paid ads, hiring a setter, getting a CSM on, bringing a closer in will give them freedom. I fucking promise you that it does not, right? It gives you a mirror. It gives you a mirror that most people want to run from because they hate what the mirror shows. And if you're watching this because you think that bringing in an appointment setter, a closer, an account manager, running paid ads will like magically fix your pipeline sales and magically make you money, this video is probably going to offend the fuck out of you, right? But if you're here because you want to step into the identity of someone who leads a sales team, leads a marketing team, leads an account management team, has paid advertising turns into money, and scales a company and becomes someone that people naturally want to follow, these 7 truths will save you years of problems that I have experienced myself and clients have experienced every single day too. And I wish that new clients and clients who are existingly working with us in either predictable sales or predictable growth, I fundamentally wish that you guys listen to this and take as much away from it as the people who aren't clients just yet will be as well. So here are the 7 truths about hiring your first sales team that will salvage and save you for an absurd amount of failure, right? In the last 10 years, I've run sales teams that have produced 7 and 8 figures. Now, I have my own sales team in our office right now. So you've got the agency level stuff, you've got the consulting level stuff, and then the coaching level stuff. And the sales team has produced 7 figures multiple years in a row, over and over and over again, multiple 7 figures. And then prior to this, I've also run a large distribution B2B supplement company sales team that was doing multiple 7 figures a month. That was insane, driving sales in that respects. And the issue was I keep watching agency owners, right? Like bring setters, closers, account managers, running paid advertising, but bringing all these team members in with absolutely delusional fucking expectations, right? And that's a huge problem. Because you think that it's going to save you and you think it's fundamentally hands off, and these people should be able to understand the fucking assignment. And the reality is that they're just going to expose the shit out of you, right? Just because you brought on a team member does not mean they're going to be able to save you. Just because you have this beautiful ability to be able to crush results and be able to think on your fucking feet and be able to do things without being told 18 times, your team will very unlikely be that person for you. And this is going to offend the shit out of you if you don't already know that. And if you have experience that, you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about, and these 7 things will save you from the next time you have that happening as well. So here are the 7 truths that every business owner needs to understand before they hire their first sales team, especially if you're running paid advertising to bring leads in for these people too. Truth number 1 is this is not a hands-off job. Most people think that hiring a setter or a closer is freedom, when in reality, hiring a setter is responsibility times 10. It increases your responsibility 10 times over. A setter will expose every single weakness in your offer, in your pipeline, in your nurture, in the way you provide clarity to people, in your leadership and your conviction within your product, yourself, the way you lead people, and it will make you feel horrible if you don't have those things dialed in. And it will do all of that within the first 7 days of the team member being on. Your team magnifies who you are. Good or bad, they will magnify who you are. And having a setter on or a closer on will murder your self-perception of yourself if you don't solve this. I was chatting with a client of mine who, man, this guy's done 8 figures in sales, and he's world class, right? And the 8 figures in sales that he did was in another person's company. So he was a sales rep working in a company. He's actually a sales manager then, was doing world class numbers, right? Team that was under him was great. Built his own offer, consulting / agency offer. And he's been, or he was struggling with bringing the new team member on, right? His story that he was telling himself was like, I didn't need to be told 1,000 times over what to do. I didn't need to be like told and reminded, and like no one had to hold me accountable. I was self-motivated. All these stories and narratives that he was telling himself that were holding him back from being a good leader was, when we got to the bottom of it, was actually just avoidance of being a good leader more than anything else. And he was frustrated and annoyed and pained at the fact that he had to be that person. And I remember having a hard conversation with this guy and just saying, dude, you are oblivious to the fact that the unicorn that you were looking for yourself in other people, is unlikely going to happen, especially not within your first, second, or third hire. I know the company that he was working with, and I was like, man, the reality is that you were rep number like 65 in that company, right? That got to that stage of where they were able to do 8 figures or 7 figures per rep, if that makes sense, right? So they had gone through 64 people prior to you to get to a point where they had someone who was that self-motivated person in a position where they could crush it, didn't need that guidance, fully went out there, got after it, and did all that things themselves. They had to go through 64 people before they found you. And you're trying to find that person from person number 1. Do you realize how many people they had to go through to find that person? He was like, no, I don't. He's like, fuck. I'm like, that's right. And you're trying to compare that scenario and that experience to your own experience of yourself, not realizing that you yourself probably had 6 roles before that got you to the point that you were self-motivated in that role and you could win as well. And it was this concoction of like dumb beliefs that held this guy back from believing that it was possible for him to be able to do this in this way. So he didn't take recruitment seriously. He didn't take onboarding, training, management, leadership, and giving it the best shot seriously in any way, shape, and form. And this guy went through 2 setters and he was struggling, fucking hating his life. And we ended up putting someone in to his company. And again, we are not a recruitment company, but I just have a massive audience of people who actually are a great fit for roles. And if I can put a placement ad up and ask if someone wants to join a company, I'm more than happy to do that, and I'll refer, but I'm not going to say we're a recruitment company. But if the person's in my audience, I'll happily recruit and send them to you. Very happy to do so for free. No issues whatsoever. I'm not going to charge for that. Maybe one day, who knows, but I'm not going to take a recruitment company entirely seriously. We can, however, help when that person comes in. Like in predictable sales, like when you bring in a team member, we will help train that person up. One of our head setter will train your setting team. I'm happy to train your sales management team. I'm happy to make sure that all this stuff happens once you do have us on your staff on the outside, if that makes sense, right? When you join predictable sales, probably more so predictable growth for that product in that respect, right? You get me, you get my whole team's access, and you get my team to join. Fucking great time, if that makes sense, right? But for this guy, we had to make sure that the actual playbook, the playbook for that team was really well dialed in. We had to make sure that the expectations are really well dialed in. We had to make sure that team member also had us on their team as well as us being on the team of the business owner, with the intent of making sure there was alignment between the 2 people, because if there wasn't, you'd be absolutely fucked, right? And for this guy started actually setting appointments for him. It was the first guy who's like, man, it's actually fucking working. I was wildly fucking excited for this guy. This is someone that we have running paid advertising. We helped increase the quality of content he gets in. He was getting like, people who were wanting to pay like 1 or 2K a month. He's now signing up 5K per month deals that are a package of like marketing and consulting put together, which is world class. And there's appointments that are starting to set appointments for this guy in this scenario right now. But the thing is, there was a wide gap of belief that were absolutely him gaslighting himself into believing that it was going to be possible to do this without having that full leadership structure in place. And as a consequence of that, this guy was going to fucking like crumble. And he was crumbling. And like, it was weird for me because I'm like, I've seen this guy do great numbers before that. And it was like, I expected him to be different, but the reality is that he wasn't. And I just had to expect this guy to be totally further below where I thought his perception was going to be, and treat him like that. And the second I started treating him like that, the results started getting way better as well. So fundamental truth number one is like, this is not a hands-off job. You need to be wildly hands-on with these people. They're going to need an absurd amount of feedback, an absurd amount of belief, an absurd amount of clarity. You're going to have to help them way more than you would have expected to. And it's going to hurt many days of the week until it doesn't, right? And if you are not ready to lead, you are not ready to hire. My team can help. We can do some placement. We can make sure your ads get enough leads for them. We can make sure that you end up in a position where they get our support too, but they are your fucking team members, so you are fucking responsible for them. Don't for a second fucking gaslight yourself for a microsecond and think that you will not have to take full responsibility on that. It's absurd and dumb. And if you think this is a hands-off job, you are going to fucking hurt yourself. Truth number two. Hiring a team member like this, a setter, a closer, account manager, is not a hire a setter or a closer or account manager and they will fix my pipeline type move. Setters and closers do not fix pipelines. Just like advertising does not fix a good fucking offer. It just reveals how shitty your processes were right now. Like an advertising ad campaign will show you how bad your offer was when it doesn't fucking convert in the first place. If your message is sloppy and your lead flow is inconsistent, expect fucking chaos. If your setters do not have the training, or your closers do not have the training, you do not have the leadership for them, expect fucking gaps that they will fall into, because they are not going to fill the gaps for you. They will expose them, fall into them, and you'll fall into this narrative within yourself where you'll feel like a piece of shit and think it's them. You'll blame them. You'll never want to point the finger at yourself. But then you'll get to a point where you realize, oh, it's actually all my fault. I didn't have a playbook. I didn't have a good onboarding process. My marketing wasn't as good as I fucking gaslit myself to believe that it was. We weren't producing enough leads. We weren't producing enough leads that were good leads. And we weren't putting ourselves in a position for our team to have their best foot put forward, right? Most owners don't need more team members. You need a playbook, clarity, consistency, and leadership for yourself to then bring team members in to scale things up once all that stuff is set up effectively and efficiently. If you do not do that, and you expect these people to come in and fucking fix your business for you for these like entry grade level roles, you will get murdered, right? You will get absolutely murdered. I can think of 50 or 60 times over the past year or two where I've had someone go buy into the belief that the setter is going to fix all these fucking problems for them. They end up in a position 3 weeks down the track going, hey man, why the fuck isn't this working? And they end up blaming themselves. These fucking idiots blame us when they realize they just never sat with the team member every single day to figure out where the bottlenecks were in their fucking process. They never gave them clear direction. They never wanted to actually hold them accountable. They just wanted some fucking magical fairy dust based solution to come in and fix the fucking problems for them and not realize that they had to take full ownership of this. And as a consequence of that, they didn't get the fucking result they wanted. They didn't get the riches they wanted, and ended up hating themselves, hating the idea of having a team member on, and decided to play fucking small. Do not do this. You want to go bigger. You want to go faster. You want to be able to get a fuckload more money come in so you can live the fucking life that you want, so you can build the team, buy the investments, have the fucking riches that you want, be good for your family, have your team take over the fucking day-to-day and put you in a position where they can actually help you fully become the person and the leader that you want to be, that you know deep down you are and can be inside. But don't for a micro fucking second gaslight yourself into believing that you do not have to become that person first, right? You are going to put yourself in a position where these people will be able to help you create the money and income that you want and give you that capacity to be able to do so. But you will not be able to do it without getting the playbooks, the leadership structure, I mean, and becoming the person and having the identity of a leader in this scenario to be able to do it, right? It's fucking impossible. So when you work with someone like us, we'll help build the playbooks. When you do onboard someone, you're good. We'll make sure your ad campaigns are actually producing leads. We'll actually bring the right fucking people in and make sure you get the results that you want. And if you're in predictable growth, you can book in for a fucking call with me whenever you want, and we can chat back and forth all day long to get this stuff dialed in. Or you can chat with me via the direct messenger chat that you have set up as a one-to-one client, where we can voice note back and forth all day long, overlook ad campaigns, overlook the current results that are happening with the setter. You can send me numbers. You can ask your setter to hop on a call with us and figure that shit out as well. But you need to own the fact that this is your responsibility, and this is where you get to the point where you have some fucking cash flow, and you need to invest into the understanding as to what needs to happen. You need to invest into getting the help for the playbooks, the training support, the leadership support for yourself to be able to navigate the fucking emotional breakdowns you are naturally going to have happen every fucking day. And you will not be able to get this team member to come in and solve everything for you. You need to work with someone like us to be able to make sure that everything is set up effectively to put you into a position where when you do bring someone in, stuff's already fixed and they're just maximizing the fuck out of it for you so you can actually get the results that you want. Do not for a microsecond think they're going to come in and solve that shit for you. That's what we're for. Truth number 3 is this is not an they should already know what to do role. If you think that they will come in and already know what to do, it's not going to happen, right? Like, you're going to have some nuance that just doesn't fit the criteria of what's needed. Your team is not you. They don't think like you. They don't sell like you. They don't have your instinct. They don't have your belief. You've spent years becoming someone who can close deals. They've spent a few days trying to join your team. If you expect them to think like you out of the gate, you're setting them up to fail, right? Leadership is developing these guys every single day, right? The amount of fucking business owners that I've worked with that have just put someone in and gone, hey guys, you should be able to figure this out, or you should have known, or you said you've set before, or you've said you've done this before, you've said you've closed before, ads should have worked in the past, whatever the fuck that it is, if that makes sense. And they just have no of realizing that the amount of times you have to repeat yourself on a daily basis to be able to get these people to either be held accountable to the standards that you have or understand how to actually do the job, even though they said they knew how to do it and you saw that they could do it, they still need reinforcement. My team, I've had a setting team for a long time. I have a sales team. The thing is, they still need constant reinforcement every single day. They still need to be told what to do and what to focus on every single day, because days are going to happen where they naturally get overwhelmed by themselves. And because of the overwhelm, they're trying to manage 853 fucking things at once. Because they're overwhelmed, guess what happens? They forget what the primary fucking thing is they need to focus on for the day, and you need to get them out of their own way and figure out what to do and how to solve that problem for them within the next fucking hour so they can get back to being a fucking savage. But that does not happen without the leadership that you need to have for them every single day. So when I'm working with an owner, a founder, an agency owner, the CEO of the company or the sales manager of the company or whatever else that it is, I am looking to make sure that your leadership structure is in place. Leadership structures are in place to be able to facilitate these type of results for your clients and for yourself. Otherwise, you will fucking crush yourselves, right? This is not a they should already know what to do type of role. You will get crushed if you think that's the case. Truth number 4, this is not a one-time training job, right? The I already told them is the most rookie sentence that you will be able to utter and destroy yourself with on a daily basis. Leadership is repetition, repetition of standards, repetition of expectations, repetition of habits, repetition of identity. You are not reminding them because they're dumb. You are reminding them because you are reprogramming who they are. It takes pressure, rhythm, and daily reinforcement for these people to turn into a fucking cash machine or cash producing machines for you. Your marketing needs to be working well. You need to have enough leads. You need to have the operating procedures, playbooks, and sales process set up to be able to make this work for them. But you also need to repeat what those standards are to them every single fucking day. Otherwise, you will not achieve the results you are trying to hopefully achieve with these people. This is the stuff that we try to help with every single day with you guys. Some of you guys still don't fucking listen, and you end up in a position where you end up getting fucked and then come back and say, I should have done it your way from the beginning. That's fucking right. You should have. So start that shit now. Truth number 5. It's not a put them in a coaching program and they'll figure it out strategy, right? Coaching programs and mentorships like ours will give them strategy and tactics, right? But you have to give them the belief, the identity, and direction around your fucking business. No program, no mentor, no even like done for you, done with you team like us will install hunger, fix weak belief, build conviction, hold them accountable, handle their emotions, give them your standards for your business in particular, right? That comes from your leadership, not logging into working with us. We can provide the skills. You have to provide the identity for them, the culture for them, to make them feel like it's actually something they're a part of, the team that they're a part of, that they're doing bigger, better, and more meaningful things as a consequence of working with you, and holding the belief that doing this means that it is going to be bigger, better, and we're doing great things in the world. The results are world class. They feel good selling. They feel good because the marketing is producing people in who are great and world class and want to already work with them. And your sales process is set up in a way where they fundamentally already want to work with you guys, and your team is out there just disqualifying and protecting the fucking community of people that you have, or the client list of people that you have, so you can charge higher prices and not get fucked with brokies that aren't the right fit for your business. We can make sure all those systems are set up and train your team to a point where they can do all of that with and for you at the same time as you getting the help from us to become the leader. But the thing is, the hunger, the belief, the conviction about your business, the accountability, the emotions you have to handle, the standards they're going to have, are all things that you have to be fucking responsible for. And don't for a fucking second think that you can alleviate yourself of that, because it's your team they're joining. They're not joining our team. They're joining your team. It needs to feel like a fucking sporting team. You guys need to feel like you're getting out there and crushing shit every single day. They need to have their fucking basketball coach. Take the basketball. They need to have their fucking shooting coach, sprinting coach, running coach, passing coach. All the different people on the team, they're going to make them feel like they have all the support that they need, and we can play a role within that. But you have to be the owner of the fucking team, the head coach of the team, the fucking emotional support person some days when your fucking sales rep, marketing manager, setter, account manager having a fucking emotional and mental breakdown number 6 the fucking day. We can help you navigate all those different scenarios with the conflict resolution and the making sure they have everything they need. But you're the person that has to be emotionally stable enough to be able to make that work. And just chucking them in a fucking program like ours is not going to fucking work, because you have to be the leader to make it work for them. We can support the skills. You have to support the cultural fit identity that makes it worth doing for them, that makes it worth getting up and crushing for them, that makes it worth wanting to fill your fucking bank account with all the money in the world to get the results that you want in your life, to fucking get the investments that you want, to get the riches, the life, to fund all the cool shit that you might already have that you need to sustain. Because if you're already doing well right now, and you probably fucking are, you know that it costs money to get where you are, but it costs money to fucking sustain the results you have right now, to keep the fucking lights of the team on, to make sure that you can keep running the paid advertising, to fucking pay the rent that you currently have in the nice place that you have, to pay for the nice fucking cars that you have. There is a cost associated to keeping that shit too, and you fucking know you need to have a great team to be able to continue doing that. So don't for a fucking second think that you don't need to have a cultural team identity that makes it so fucking worth it for them to want to do that. Otherwise, you're going to get fucked. Yes, you can help them, and we can help you do that. Truth number 6 is this is a leadership defining role. I'm just harping on the same fucking point right now, right? You're not hiring staff. This is about becoming the type of person that a team can actually fucking follow. This is the moment that you have to see yourself as someone who is stable, certain, disciplined, convicted. You need to be a coach, an emotional regulator. You need to hold the line for them. Most founders avoid leadership. But the moment you bring setters and closers on, your character becomes more important than your product. And because most people avoid it, they then wonder why their team avoids performance. If you avoid leadership, your team will avoid performance. I have to pull my team in line all the fucking time. My COO, if he's not playing COO properly, I have to say, hey, bro, you are not playing COO properly right now. What the fuck? Sales team, hey, if you guys aren't hitting KPIs right now, why the fuck are we not hitting KPIs right now? As long as I've done my job, marketing is good, pre-selling assets are there, leadership is there, Accountability needs to be there too. Leading these people through hard times needs to be there too. Installing the belief that things are going to be okay needs to be there too. We can help you understand what it is that needs to be seen, because you can tell us a story of what's happening with your clients. I have a client right now who runs an agency doing about 7 figures right now, and they have a team member on board who constantly has emotional meltdowns. Great player, but constantly has emotional meltdowns. And I said, if you don't get this person's fucking emotional health check in fucking line and make sure they're doing their fucking, like they're out there actually getting training, as in like doing training in the gym, eating right, looking after themselves, reading books, this person's going to fucking melt down and leave. Lo and behold, about a month and a half later, this person has a meltdown and leaves. Because of that, because this person wasn't looking at, like, because the client wasn't looking after the team members' physical, emotional, and spiritual health, as well as the actual fucking business aspects, they lost a great team member because the team member fucking crumbled. I too have had this in the past. Didn't have the lead flow dialed in, didn't have the actual leadership dialed in, and just worked my people into the fucking ground. As a consequence of that, they couldn't handle it and fucking left and just needed to go and do an ayahuasca retreat of some sort to try and fucking find themselves again, when reality is we just didn't set them up for the best fucking place to be able to win and look after their physical and emotional health at the same time too, because that's also a massive contributor to their performance. And if we don't hold them to the account of being the best version of themselves, which is physical, emotional, mental, and actual making the, you know, the dials or whatever the fuck they're doing, you will fail them and they will not get the results that you want as a consequence of that too. So if you avoid that leadership and then wonder why your team does not fucking crush, that one's on you. So it is as a leadership defining role, and you need to lead these people both on the court and off the court. If you don't do that, you're going to get crushed, right? So you should probably just fucking do that. Come to us so we can help you do that too. Truth number 7, and this is the last one, right? Most agencies fail because they think like operators and not leaders. I'm harping on this hard, right? You think you need to give people tasks, but what you are hiring is someone, like I said in the beginning, who is an identity mirror for you. If you don't have daily coaching, daily huddles, daily role plays, KPI tracking, clear standards, consequences for their actions, accountability, emotional steadiness, pipeline structure, and belief frameworks, your team is going to be dead before it begins. Now, when you come and work with us, right, we'll make sure that they have the coaching. We'll make sure that you know how to coach them on the court and off the court as well. We'll make sure you know how to run the huddles, have the daily role plays. We'll make sure their KPIs are well in check. We'll make sure that their standards are well in check. We'll make sure that your marketing is actually doing its job in the right way at the same time too. They can pop into the group chat and ask as many questions as they want all day for when they're getting stuck with leads or whatever the fuck that needs to happen to be able to do that. And when we do have your weekly or monthly strategy sessions one-to-one with you, when we, like we do in both predictable growth and predictable sales, what we'll do is make sure that you're in a position where you know exactly how to actually navigate what's going to happen for the next month to make sure the KPIs get hit and get the results that you want. But you need to take full responsibility that they are going to challenge every part of you that you didn't even know that was going to be challenged, or you didn't even know was going to have an exposed part of you, and you're going to get blindsided every single day, right? Didn't realize that I need to do an EOD report. Didn't realize that I need to have clear standards here. Didn't realize that this is going to fucking hurt my people-pleasing nature within myself. And every time I do that, I lose money, right? Your team is going to die, and you're going to feel horrible all day long if you don't act like a leader in this scenario. So have the coaching, have the daily huddles, have the daily role plays, track your fucking KPIs, make sure your standards are clear, get your consequences for their actions in check, make sure you have the accountability, make sure you have your emotional steadiness in place and pipeline structure and belief frameworks to make sure that your team have everything they need to win. Most setters and closers don't fail because they're bad. They fail because the leader was not ready for a team. And the biggest lesson out of all of this that I want to impart to you guys is like hiring a sales team does not scale your business. It scales your identity. This is what separates most entrepreneurs from being one-time, singular, I have to do everything people myself, to entrepreneurs who can scale a real company. And the difference between them is the ability to delegate, the ability to lead, the ability to hold standards, and the ability to get the results that you want, right? And this is all the stuff that we do inside predictable growth and predictable sales too, right? In predictable growth, it's all about getting team on, scaling paid advertising, fixing operations, making sure you don't churn a fuckload, getting from like 50, 30, 40, 50 grand a month up to 100, 200, 300, 400 grand a month, and really doing great things, right? Like we have a one-to-one support with everything. It's really high leverage for you guys. We work on the marketing. We help you get your ads up to be able to make sure there's a fuckload of leads for these people who would actually want to pay you 5 grand a month. We make sure your team have everything they need, the playbook, the actual structure, the leadership, the accountability to be able to get you the results that you want, to be able to buy the things that you want. We make sure you have your daily one-to-one chat support to be able to get all the results that you want all day long, and the feedback and support that you need in-game for you and for your team to be able to make sure that they can hit the fucking numbers that they need to, and you can get the results you want through them and everything else as well. And the 4 or 5 now weekly coaching sessions that we have for you and for your team that cover off leadership, cover off delivery, operations, churn, fulfillment, that cover off marketing, content, ads, that cover off sales, that cover off setting, that cover off just making sure you're on track in terms of your daily structure for yourself and for your team too. And in predictable sales, it's about how to get to 30 or 40 grand a month, crush sales, crush your offer, crush onboarding and delivery, and make sure that you have all the support that you need to be able to do that too. You want a team that performs, but you have to become the leader who performs first. Hope this helped. If you would like to see how we can help you out, click one of the links below to be able to book in for a call and be able to see how we can help you out too. And let's get out there and outwork some bad days and crush some fucking numbers so you guys can hit the 2, 3, 4, 500 grand a month. But there is 0 income claims as you will listen to this, because I have no fucking clue how good you are at anything that you could, would, or should do. You could be an idiot who has no fucking ability to make any money in any way, shape, and form. And I'm not going to make any income claims to you at all, because you might take that in the wrong fucking way, and you should not be doing that. Anyway, outwork bad days, get in there and lead like a fucking savage, and I'll chat with you all soon. Peace.